tuning the violin. So one important thing that you have to check before you even attempt to tune it, do you have a bridge? The bridge allows us to have tension on the strings, so if you try to tune the instrument and it doesn't have a bridge, it's not going to work and you're not going to be able to play the instrument. If your bridge is not on the instrument yet or you don't have one, I have a video about how you can fix that. But if you have a bridge and it's perpendicular to the body, not tilting one way or another, then you're ready to start tuning. So when you have an in-tune instrument, it's going to sound a bit like this. But say if you've ordered an instrument online, it might arrive something like this. Using some sort of tuning app like this is what I would recommend, and then locate the tuning pegs up here. If you're not sure which peg controls which string, go ahead and locate the string you want to tune, follow it all the way up into the peg box, and you'll see that this string connects with this peg. So if we want to tune this string, we have to use this peg. You can do the same thing with the fine tuners, though it's a bit easier to see for those. Also, if you put your violin down like this peg controls the G string, D, A on the far side over here, and then E. I like to balance the instrument on my knee, and then you grab the tuning peg, you hold the opposite side of the peg box, and you gently push in with both hands. You're gently pushing in the tuning peg, and if the strings haven't wound up correctly, you should be turning the peg that way. So the peg is being turned away from me, and the string is getting higher. You'll notice that if you don't push in while you turn, the pegs might slip back and the note will get flatter. The pegs up here are friction pegs, which means that there's nothing holding them securely in place. So in order to get them to stay in tune, you have to turn and push inwards to provide friction. Once you've gotten the note near the pitch, you can go down to your fine tuners and turn them one way or another to make them sharper or flatter. The big tuning pegs up here let us make larger adjustments, and the fine tuners down here make very small adjustments to the pitch. So if I want to make it sharper, turn that way. Do you hear that's getting a little bit sharper, but it's not too noticeable? Maybe I need to make it flatter, so I can just turn the other way. So I'm going to get my instrument as perfectly in tune as I can, and then I want you to try to match the pitch of your strings. So my G string, the lowest string, the thickest string sounds like this. The next one over is the D string. For reference, maybe if you play piano, this is the D right above middle C. Then the next one's A. And the thinnest string, the highest string, is E. So if any of your strings were way off, don't even sound remotely like the pitches I just played, you'll want to use the tuning pegs, gently pushing the tuning pegs inwards as you tune and providing counterbalance with the other hand. And if they're just a little bit off, just turn your fine tuners until you get to the pitch you want. It's worth noting, if you've ordered your instrument online and it's just traveled halfway across the world, it's not going to stay in tune. If your instrument's wooden, it'll be affected by humidity, and that will cause the wood to either expand or shrink. Not enough that we really notice it, but enough that it causes the pegs to go out of tune. And so if you've just gotten your instrument, let it get used to the environment that you're in for a while, and then after a few days try tuning it again, and you might have an easier time. If your pegs keep slipping and your strings keep flattening for no apparent reason, then it could be that there's a problem with your instrument, and I'll make a video on a few ways that you can fix those problems. Even if your instrument's going out of tune, you can still watch the next video to learn how to hold your instrument.